Hello viewers, before we begin we would love for you to be part of our family. Subscribe today and turn on the bell notification. Now enjoy. The sun cast a golden glow over Lagos as Darasimi stepped out of the company's headquarters, her heart racing. She still couldn't believe how much her life had changed in just a few months. From selling oranges on the street to standing in one of the city's biggest corporate buildings, she felt like she was in a dream she never wanted to wake up from. As she walked toward the company's parking lot, her phone buzzed. It was Tunde. "Can we have dinner tonight?" his deep voice asked through the phone. Darasimi hesitated. Dinner? With him? The billionaire boss who had once been a helpless man in need of her help? "Yes, sir," she answered politely, her mind swirling with thoughts. "Call me Tunde," he corrected. "I'll send a car to pick you up by 7. Darasimi ended the call and inhaled deeply. There was something different about his voice. It wasn't just business, it felt personal. By evening, a black luxury car pulled up in front of her apartment. Darasimi, dressed in a simple but elegant gown, stepped inside. The driver took her to one of the most expensive restaurants in Lagos. As she walked in, she spotted Tunde at a private table, waiting. "You look beautiful," he said as she sat down, his eyes studying her. Darasimi smiled shyly. "Thank you." They talked about work, life, and everything in between. But then, Tunde's tone grew serious. "Darasimi, you've done more than prove yourself at the company. You have a brilliant mind, and I believe you deserve something more." She blinked. "More? I want you to lead a new project, something big, something important." But, he paused, searching her eyes. "That's not the only reason I invited you tonight." Her heart pounded. She knew this moment would change everything. Darasimi's pulse quickened as she stared at Tunde. The soft lighting of the restaurant reflected in his eyes, making them unreadable. Was this about work? Or something else? "I believe in you, Darasimi," he continued, his fingers lightly tapping the edge of his wine glass. "You've proven that you're more than capable. I want you to oversee a new expansion project, our biggest yet. You'll be working directly with me." Her breath caught. "Me? Leading a project?" Tunde nodded. "Yes. It's a major investment in real estate, and I need someone I trust. You've worked hard, and it's time you take the next step." Darasimi swallowed hard. Just months ago, she was on the streets, struggling to make ends meet. Now, she was being offered a life-changing opportunity. But why did it feel like there was more to this than business? She glanced down at her plate, gathering her thoughts. I don't know what to say. This is huge. You don't have to decide now," Tunde said gently. "But think about it." The rest of the dinner passed in a blur. By the time she was back home, her mind was restless. Why did it feel like this offer wasn't just about work? And why did she feel an unfamiliar warmth in her chest every time she looked into Tunde's eyes? The following morning, Darasimi arrived at the office earlier than usual. Her mind had been racing all night, replaying Tunde's words over and over. Leading a major project? It felt unreal. But there was something else lingering in her mind, the way he looked at her, the way his voice softened when he spoke to her. Was she imagining things? She shook off the thought as she stepped into the building. She had work to do. "Darasimi." She turned and found Tunde standing by his office door. He gestured for her to come in. Inside, he leaned against his desk, watching her carefully. "Did you think about what I said?" She nodded. "I did. It's an incredible opportunity, and I'm grateful. But, why me? There are people with more experience." Tunde smiled. "Because I trust you. And I know you'll give this everything. I've watched you grow, Darasimi. You're not just hardworking, you're smart, determined, and you see things differently. That's exactly what this project needs." Her heart fluttered at his words. She wanted to believe him, but doubt still lingered. "What if I fail?" "You won't." His voice was firm, steady. "And even if things go wrong, I'll be here." You won't do this alone. She looked into his eyes, and for the first time, she realized something. He wasn't just offering her a project. He was offering her trust, support, and maybe something deeper. A slow breath escaped her lips. Okay, she finally said. I'll do it. Tunde's smile widened. Good. Welcome to your new beginning. Darasimi sat in the large conference room, staring at the files spread out before her. This project was bigger than anything she had ever imagined. It involved multiple properties, high-end investors, and millions of naira at stake. The weight of responsibility pressed on her shoulders, but she refused to let fear consume her. A knock on the door made her look up. It was Tunde. He walked in, his presence as commanding as ever. How are you settling in? He asked, taking the seat across from her. Darasimi exhaled. It's overwhelming, but I'll figure it out. Tunde leaned forward, his eyes locked on hers. You don't have to figure it out alone. I meant what I said. I'll be here. She nodded, appreciating his reassurance. I just want to do this right. You will, he said firmly. Then, after a pause, I was thinking, maybe we could go over the details over dinner. Darasimi's heart skipped a beat. Another dinner? She hesitated, unsure if she was ready for what felt like more than just business. Sensing her hesitation, Tunde added, strictly work. If you want. She let out a soft laugh. Okay, then. Dinner it is. As he left the room, Darasimi felt something shift inside her. This was no longer just about a job. Something deeper was unfolding, and she wasn't sure if she was ready to face it. Dinner was set at one of the most exclusive restaurants in the city, a place Darasimi had only ever seen in magazines. She arrived early, nerves tingling in her fingertips. The project, the responsibility, and now this dinner, it was a lot to take in. Tunde walked in moments later, effortlessly confident in his tailored suit. The way he carried himself, the way heads turned when he entered, it was still surreal to her. You look nice, he said as he took his seat across from her. Thank you. She adjusted the napkin on her lap, trying to focus. I went over the project proposal again. The budget allocations for site development. Tunde chuckled. Darasimi, relax. We'll get to that. She let out a small laugh, shaking her head. I just want to be prepared. You always are, he said, studying her. That's one of the things I admire about you. Heat rushed to her face. She reached for her glass, taking a sip to calm herself. So, what's the real reason you chose me for this? Tunde leaned forward, his voice softer now. Because I believe in you. And, because I want you close. Darasimi's breath hitched. She wasn't sure she heard him right. Close. He held her gaze. I don't mix business with personal feelings, but with you, it's been impossible to separate the two. Her heart pounded. This wasn't just dinner. This wasn't just work. She was stepping into something much bigger than she had imagined. Darasimi stared at Tunde, her mind racing. The weight of his words settled between them, heavy with meaning. She wasn't naive, she had seen the way he looked at her, the way his gaze lingered just a little too long. But to hear him admit it, that was something else entirely. Tunde, she started, her voice careful. This project means everything to me. I don't want anything to jeopardize it. His expression remained steady. Neither do I. That's why I won't pressure you. I just needed you to know the truth. The waiter arrived with their food, breaking the tension. Darasimi picked at her meal, her thoughts all over the place. This was new territory, and she wasn't sure how to navigate it. After dinner, Tunde walked her to her car. The night air was cool, a welcome contrast to the warmth of his presence beside her. Thank you for tonight, she said, unlocking her door. Darasimi. She turned, and before she could react, he reached out, gently tucking a stray curl behind her ear. His fingers brushed her skin, sending a shiver down her spine. I'll see you at the office, he said softly, stepping back. She nodded quickly, slipping into her car before her emotions betrayed her. As she drove home, one thing was clear: this was no longer just business. And that terrified her. The next morning, Darasimi arrived at the office earlier than usual. Sleep had eluded her, her mind replaying every second of the dinner with Tunde. She needed to focus, to remind herself why she was here. As she settled into her desk, Io, one of her colleagues, leaned against the cubicle wall. "So, you and the boss had dinner?" His tone was teasing, but his eyes held curiosity. Darasimi stiffened. "It was a work meeting." Io smirked. "Right. Just work." She sighed, flipping open a file. "I have a lot to do, Io." All right. But be careful. Office relationships are tricky." Before she could respond, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Tunde. *Tunde, can you come to my office? We need to go over the site visit details. She inhaled deeply, then rose to her feet. Io gave her a knowing look as she walked away. Inside Tunde's office, he was already reviewing documents. He looked up when she entered, his expression unreadable. "Morning. Sleep well?" Darasimi hesitated. "Not really. A lot on my mind." He studied her for a moment. "If it's about last night." "Tunde," she interrupted, her tone firm. "I just want to do my job well." He nodded slowly. "I understand. And I promise, I won't let anything interfere with that." Relieved, she took a seat, ready to focus. But deep down, she knew it wouldn't be that easy. Not when every glance, every word between them carried a weight she couldn't ignore. Darasimi tried to focus on the documents in front of her, but the air in Tunde's office felt too charged. She was keenly aware of his presence, the way his eyes occasionally flicked up to look at her. "About the site visit," he said, clearing his throat. "We'll be meeting with the contractors at noon. I'll have the driver pick us up." She nodded. "All right." Tunde hesitated. "Darasimi, I know you want to keep things professional, and I respect that. But I need you to know that I meant what I said." She looked up, her fingers tightening on the pen she was holding. "Tunde, I won't bring it up again," he cut in quickly, sensing her resistance. "But I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. You're one of the best people on this project, and I don't want anything to affect that." She let out a slow breath, relieved yet somehow unsettled. "Thank you." The clock ticked by, and soon it was time to leave. The ride to the site was mostly quiet, with only work-related discussions breaking the silence. But as they pulled up to the construction site, a familiar figure caught Darasimi's eye. Her heart clenched. It was Bolaji. He stood near the entrance, speaking to one of the workers. His sharp eyes swept across the lot, and then he saw her. Darasimi felt a chill go through her as their gazes locked. Memories of the past came rushing back, ones she had fought so hard to bury. Tunde noticed her reaction. "Are you okay?" Darasimi swallowed, her voice barely above a whisper. "I need to handle something." Before he could ask more, she stepped out of the car, her pulse racing as she walked toward Bolaji. She wasn't ready for this. Not at all. Bolaji smirked as Darasimi approached. "Look at you. All polished and corporate now. Didn't think I'd see you again." Her hands clenched into fists at her sides. "What are you doing here?" He chuckled. "Relax. I work here. Unlike you, some of us don't have rich men whisking us away into luxury." Darasimi's jaw tightened. "I got here on my own. Whatever you think, it has nothing to do with you." Bolaji's expression darkened. "You think you've escaped? That I don't know the truth about you? About what you did?" A cold shiver ran down her spine, but she refused to show fear. "I don't have time for your nonsense. Stay away from me." Before he could respond, Tunde's voice cut through the tension. "Darasimi, is everything all right?" She turned slightly, her heart pounding. "Yes. I was just leaving." Bolaji's eyes flickered to Tunde, then back to her. A slow, knowing smile spread across his face. We'll see about that. Darasimi walked away without looking back, her pulse racing. She could feel Tunde's concerned gaze on her as she reached the car. Who was that? He asked quietly. She exhaled sharply. No one that matters. But deep down, she knew that was a lie. Bolaji wasn't done with her. And that terrified her. Bolaji's smirk widened as Darasimi approached. Didn't think you could run forever, did you? She took a deep breath, steadying herself. I'm not running from anything, Bolaji. I've moved on. He chuckled, shaking his head. Moved on? You think dressing fancy and working with big men erases everything? We both know the past doesn't just disappear. Darasimi clenched her fists. I don't have time for your games. If you have something to say, say it. Bolaji stepped closer, lowering his voice. You owe me. You think I forgot? I covered for you back then. And now, you're acting like I don't exist. Her stomach twisted. I don't owe you anything. We both made our choices. His eyes darkened. You're wrong about that, Darasimi. Very wrong. A shadow fell over them. Tunde had stepped out of the car, watching them with sharp eyes. Is there a problem here? Bolaji looked him over and smirked. No problem at all. Just old friends catching up. Darasimi's voice was tight. We're done here. She turned and walked away, her heart pounding. But she knew this wasn't the end. Bolaji wasn't the type to let things go. Darasimi barely slept that night. Every time she closed her eyes, Bolaji's words echoed in her mind. You think you've escaped? That I don't know the truth about you? She sat up, hugging her knees. What truth? What did he know? She had buried her past deep, but somehow he had dug it up. Her phone buzzed. A message from Tunde. Tunde ***, are you okay? You seemed off earlier. She hesitated before typing back. Darasimi ***, I'm fine. Just a long day. A reply came instantly. Tunde ***, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. She smiled faintly. He was always so kind. But there were things she couldn't share, not even with him. The next morning, she arrived at work determined to push everything aside. She had just settled at her desk when a courier walked in. Package for Miss Darasimi. Her stomach dropped. From who? The man shrugged. No name. Just said it was urgent. With shaking hands, she unwrapped the small parcel. Inside was a folded note. ***, I told you, you can't run from the past. We'll talk soon. ***. Darasimi's heart pounded. Bolaji. She glanced around, suddenly feeling exposed. He was watching her. Somewhere, somehow, he was close. And he wasn't going away. Darasimi stared at the note in her trembling hands. The room suddenly felt too small, too suffocating. She glanced around, half expecting to see Bolaji lurking in the shadows. She needed to act fast. Taking a deep breath, she picked up her phone and dialed a number. Tunde, I need to see you. Now. 15 minutes later, she met him at a quiet cafe, her fingers gripping the note tightly. Tunde took one look at her face and frowned. What's wrong? Wordlessly, she slid the note across the table. He read it, his jaw tightening. Who sent this? Bolaji. He's been following me. He knows something I don't even understand. Tunde exhaled sharply. This guy is dangerous, Darasimi. You can't handle this alone. Her voice wavered. Then what do I do? If he's trying to blackmail me, I don't even know with what. Tunde's eyes darkened. We find out before he makes his next move. You're not alone in this. Darasimi swallowed the lump in her throat. For the first time since Bolaji reappeared, she felt a sliver of hope. But deep down, fear still clawed at her. Because she knew Bolaji wasn't bluffing. He had something on her. And whatever it was, it could destroy everything. Darasimi's fingers tightened around her cup, her thoughts racing. Tunde's words reassured her, but the fear wouldn't fade. What if he does something before we can stop him? Tunde leaned forward, his gaze steady. Then we stay ahead of him. We find out what he knows and why he's doing this. She hesitated, then whispered, "There's something else. Back when I was still selling oranges, Bolaji used to come around. He knew things about people. He always had secrets to trade. I thought I was careful, but maybe I let something slip." Tunde's jaw clenched. "Then we start there. Who else did he deal with? Anyone who might know his game?" Darasimi's mind raced. There was someone. Mama Bisi. She ran a small shop where people gathered. If anyone knows anything, it's her. Tunde nodded. "Then we pay her a visit. Tonight." A shiver ran down Darasimi's spine. If Bolaji had something that could ruin her, she needed to find out what it was before he used it against her. Darasimi and Tunde arrived at Mama Bisi's shop just as the sun dipped below the horizon. The small wooden stall was tucked between larger buildings, its dim light flickering in the evening air. The scent of fried plantain and roasted corn filled the street, but Darasimi barely noticed. Her heart pounded as she stepped inside. Mama Bisi looked up from where she was arranging goods on the counter. Her sharp eyes softened with recognition. "Ah, Darasimi. Long time, my dear. You look different." Darasimi forced a smile. "Mama, I need your help. It's about Bolaji." Mama Bisi's expression darkened. She set down the bag of groundnuts in her hands. "That boy is trouble. Always sniffing around people's business." "What has he done now?" Tunde spoke up. "He's been following Darasimi. He left her a threatening note. We think he has something on her, but we don't know what." Mama Bisi sighed and gestured for them to sit. "Bolaji always had ears everywhere. He used to come here, pretending to buy something, but he was really gathering information. People talk when they think no one is listening. And Bolaji? He listens." Darasimi swallowed. "Do you think he knows something about my past? Something I don't remember?" Mama Bisi's gaze turned cautious. "There was a night, years ago. You were still selling oranges. Bolaji came here, asking questions about a girl who had disappeared. He said he had proof of something big. But then, he went quiet." Tunde leaned forward. "What girl? Do you remember her name?" Mama Bisi hesitated. "I don't. But I remember one thing, Bolaji wasn't looking for her because he cared. He was looking for leverage. And if he's coming after you now, it means he thinks you were involved." Darasimi's breath hitched. "But I don't know anything about a missing girl." Mama Bisi's voice dropped to a whisper. "Then why is Bolaji so sure that you do?" Darasimi barely slept that night. Bolaji's words haunted her, circling her mind like vultures waiting to strike. What did he mean by the truth about her? What could he possibly know that she didn't? Morning came too quickly. She arrived at work, but her thoughts were elsewhere. Tunde noticed her distracted state almost immediately. "Darasimi," he said gently, touching her arm. "Talk to me. What's really going on?" She hesitated. Tunde had always been her rock, but this felt too dangerous. Still, she couldn't keep it bottled up anymore. "Bolaji knows something," she whispered. "Something about my past. He's using it to threaten me." Tunde's face darkened. "Then we need to find out what it is before he can use it against you." "Did he say anything specific?" She shook her head. "Just that he knows the truth about me. And something about what I did. But I have no idea what he's talking about." Tunde leaned back, deep in thought. "Maybe someone from your past might know more? Family? An old friend?" A chill ran through her. Family. She hadn't spoken to her uncle in years. He was the only one who had raised her after her mother passed. If there were secrets about her past, He would know. She took a deep breath. I think I need to visit someone. Later that evening, she stood outside her uncle's house, her heart pounding. She hadn't seen him in so long, and now she was here with questions she wasn't sure she wanted answers to. She knocked. The door opened, revealing Uncle Bayo's surprised face. Darasimi, what are you doing here? She forced a small smile. Uncle, I need to talk to you. It's important. He hesitated, then stepped aside. Come in. She entered, taking in the familiar scent of old books and spices. She sat on the worn-out couch, feeling like a child again. Her uncle sat across from her, studying her with wary eyes. What's wrong, Darasimi? You look troubled. She swallowed. Uncle, is there anything about my past that I don't remember? Something important? His expression changed instantly. His body stiffened, and his eyes darted away. Why are you asking this now? Because someone is using it against me. Please, Uncle. I need to know. He sighed heavily, rubbing his forehead. There's something, but I don't know if you're ready to hear it. Darasimi's heart pounded. I have to know. Please. Uncle Bayo looked at her, his face lined with worry. Darasimi, there's something from your childhood, something you've forgotten. But maybe it's time you remembered. She braced herself. Tell me everything.